Okay, G. CCP Hadean, Episode 1. Ever since the first multiplayer games of the DPD-11s in the early 70s, player counts of the early online games have been dictated by a mixture of gameplay designs and the server technical limitations. From 2v2 shooters to hundreds in PlanetSide 2 to the literal thousands of players in EVE Online, these technical boundaries have dogged online communities for decades. Now what if I told you these technical limitations could be removed? Hey friends, my name is Bam Havoc, and the cohorts at the Bammsters and myself have had a little chat with CCP. Yes, we've been very busy during the COVID-19 outbreak. CCP, as you know, is the developers behind the massive MMO EVE Online, as well as Hadean, the developers behind Aether Engine. Aether Engine is a new sort of server backend. Two things. I've got to keep this factual as much as I can, so I'm going to be reading my notes, and the notes are where all the facts are. So yes, forgive me if I look down occasionally to actually read these facts, because I don't do this very often, this whole camera live thing. And yeah, so let's get back to it. So, in this video and the videos to follow, we're going to take a look at EVE Aether Wars, CCP Games, their involvement with Hadean and Hadean themselves, and see what they've been getting up to these past few years with each other. Don't take that out of context, please. So, get to it. Welcome to New Eden. Time for a little history. 17 years ago, a bunch of volcanic banana farmers, yes, that is a thing, Google it, released a space sim game called EVE Online. CCP, the creators of EVE Online, wanted to create a universe without restrictions, allowing people to play however they wanted. By 2006, EVE Online was already generating player-driven stories resulting in epic battles of struggle, survival, deceit, all those good drama things. In January 2018, the siege of 9-4 in New Eden saw the largest fight to date, with over 6,000 players fighting for survival. There was something, however, that might seem odd to outsiders. The game was effectively running in slow motion, a sort of slowed down phase which enables the servers to process the thousands of players across the sector. This includes their bombs, their missiles, their drones, the ships themselves. Spaceship soup, basically. You could hear these servers, honestly, I think I heard them the other day, screaming. Wah! Screaming. This slowed down state in the universe is known as time dilation, or to you and me, tie-dye. This kicks in when the server processes struggle to keep up with demand, and problems begin to arise. Modern computers have become a lot faster since the Pentium 3 days that EVE Online was built on. But when you're running a super optimized single thread simulation on modern processors, things aren't all that much faster. Enter Hadean. Jump to early 2018, the folks at Hadean were bringing their distributed computing solution, the Hadean platform, to the gaming sphere. The Hadean platform would later be referred to as Aether Engine. CCP Games caught wind of this, and the two were subsequently introduced, and by late 2018, Aether Wars was birthed. Well, perhaps it is not all that straightforward. One inconvenient fact about multiplayer game engines is that there is only so much you can learn from simulations and drawing board sessions. Hadean had shown their system worked, and CCP Hilmar said,
when practicality sets in, then making a computer game is maybe 50% academics and 50% artistry and emotion and things that don't really have much to do with the technology.
A small team under the leadership of James Dabrowski, I love that name. James, I'm going to refer to you as Dabrowski from now on, because that is a good surname. Dabrowski, that's a good surname. Anyway, James Dabrowski, VP of Product Development, were assigned the task to create EVE Aether Wars, a tech demo launched in March 2019 during DDC. A technical director, an art director, an engineer, and one technical artist got to work on EVE Aether Wars. EVE Aether Wars was written from scratch with a limited manpower and budget. The small team even resorted to theft Yeah, theft. They stole other people from other departments in order to make this game reach its allocated time frame. Theft. Theft. With no strict design documents or goals, they relied heavily on the game designer turned artist's vision. There was one requirement, however. It had to feel like Eve. From gameplay to visuals to the actual sound of the game, all had to be just right. From adding the WASD keys to the gamepad controllers meant there was a lot of need for experimentation. CCP were also the first to say they did not get it 100% correct. But then as I was told earlier on in this interview, what you do if you don't get it right the first time, you just get a bulldozer and you bulldoze your rose garden. Bang. Done. I love that phrase. It's a good phrase. I love it. Assets were lifted directly from EVE Online and transferred to Unreal 4. This in itself became a separate learning experience with the migration of New Eden assets to the latest Unreal Engine. Lessons that might just come in handy as CCP has just started development on a new MMO in Unreal 4, announced earlier this year. And no, CCP are not willing to talk about that yet. Stay tuned. Dabrowski and his team got the tech demo, to a playable state. They enlisted the help of the EVE Online fanbase to stress test the servers. Close to 4,000 dutiful players showed up for the first test session. These players were joined by 10,000 artificial clients. This helped CCP as well as Hadean gain valuable data and insights on the server load and the ongoings of the game. Those poor servers. As Dabrowski told us,
it started as a very small kind of R&D endeavor where, as Hilmar said, we just wanted to kind of get to know Hadean a little bit better, experiment with their stuff, and as we got more excited, things kind of just started happening.
Now don't take that out of context either. Over the following 3 months, EVE Aether Wars was completely stripped and put back together. In August 2019 at Gamescom, a second test was run with the goal of 10,000 concurrent clients using real and artificial entities. Incidentally, this is also where the Bammsters caught up with Hadean at their DevCon presentation. The core goal of these first two tests were all about learning, experimenting, and network and server abuse. It's all this is about, really, server and network abuse. Yeah, EVE Aether Wars. Abuse servers. The hard data gathered all went into the third and final test, which was more focused on the gameplay experience. During EVE Invasion London in November 2019, over 3,000 players from across 80 different countries got into the real-time dogfights, and from what we were told, the feedback has been hugely positive, ours included. From tests 1, 2 and 3, CCP and Hadean made huge strides, resulting in a few things such as the optimization of bandwidth usage by 100 times. Not 100%, 100 times. Mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. As Craig Bettis, CEO of Hadean, tells us, the largest portion of cost of using Aether Engine is the bandwidth from the simulation to the player's clients. He went on to say that one of the biggest things we learned about our Aether Engine is the iteration cycle and ease of use. No matter how impressive the technology is, having a good and effective workflow is essential. Essential. It's no secret that game development is super iterative. Game developers need to quickly throw things at the wall and see what sticks and what doesn't. CCP are excited for what a real-time platform has to offer and what ideas this will bring along.
I think what we've seen internally is a lot of kind of creative inspiration, not just for the small R&D group, but for the EVE Online team as a whole. So it started to, I think, make people see a vision that we've had for the long term a step closer to short-term reality.
The prospect of EVE fleet battles without the limitations in the current simulation model means more layers to the theatre. A Battle of Endor conflict straight out of Star Wars, from the engagements of Endor to the X-Wings and TIE Fighters up to the battle cruisers, or, in EVE speak, Mercs, Wraiths, Vulcans, and pipe-bombing Tempests. Oh my. During our interview with CCP, we called back to FanFest 2013, where CCP Hilmar himself presented the idea of one universe, one war, and yes, I want me some of that. With EVE Online, Dust 514 and EVE Valkyrie eventually existing not only the same IP, but on the same shard, and each having an effect on the other. CCP Hilmar said,
so you could even go further back. You could go to FanFest 2011 when we showed the Future Vision, and then 2013, One Universe, One War. I mean, we're nothing if not consistent. We're always trying the these damn same. Yeah, we're just bloodedly stubborn. We won't give up until that we've brought about. It's taking a little longer than we estimated, but that doesn't mean it isn't worthwhile to pursue.
Exactly what that would look like, and how it would come to be done without risking the existing player base remains to be seen. But here at Bammsters, we remain cautiously optimistic, but we are not the ones you need to convince. All this is not to say CCP is now ready to release their own version of the tech that underpinned EVE Aether Wars and make it part of EVE Online, but they are seeing a more clearly defined future of what could be, surpassing that 6,500 concurrent player record and having gameplay options that make use of real-time combat with no tie-dye is part of that vision. This is now just some of what CCP are processing through. They have started opening up positions inside the company to help guide them forward in those areas. EVE Aether Wars has shown CCP that not in the too distant future, greater battles are on the horizon. With new gameplay experiences, more direct control, and even from other platforms. If these ideas do not work, you'll find Hilmar and Dabrowski driving a bulldozer through a freshly planted rose garden. Over the next few weeks, guys, we at the Bammsters will be bringing you more videos about this interview that we conducted with CCP Games. If you enjoyed this one, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those good things. And again, I'll apologize for keeping to my notes as best as possible. And thank you very much for watching, guys. My name is Bam Havoc, and thank you for joining us at the Bammsters. Cheers. Bye.